Imagine waking up one morning and discovering that your nation's capital is under attack. Soldiers are marching through the streets, government officials are fleeing, and the White House is burning. This is not a movie. In 1814, during the War of 1812, the United States came dangerously close to losing its capital city. British troops entered Washington, D.C., set fire to government buildings, and forced the American government to run for safety. This is the story of the day America almost lost its capital. The conflict between the United States and Britain had already been raging for 2 years. Britain was fighting Napoleon in Europe and also trying to control American trade. British warships stopped American vessels and forced American sailors into the British Navy. Many Americans believed Britain was violating their rights. In June 1812, the United States declared war on Great Britain. At first, the war did not go well for America. Several military campaigns failed, and British forces remained powerful. But in 1814, everything changed. Napoleon had been defeated in Europe. Now Britain could send experienced soldiers to North America. The United States suddenly faced a much stronger enemy. British leaders wanted to strike an important target. They decided to attack Washington, D.C. At that time, Washington was still a small city with only a few thousand residents. Many people believed the British would attack Baltimore instead because it was an important port. As a result, Washington was poorly defended. British forces under Major General Robert Ross landed in Maryland in August 1814. Thousands of experienced soldiers began marching toward the American capital. Panic spread throughout Washington. American troops gathered near Bladensburg, Maryland. Many of them were inexperienced militia soldiers. On August 24, 1814, British forces attacked. The battle quickly turned into a disaster. American lines collapsed. Soldiers fled the battlefield. Some historians later called the battle the Bladensburg Races because so many troops ran away. President James Madison personally watched part of the battle. When the Americans were defeated, he was forced to leave the area. The road to Washington was now open. The British enter Washington that evening. British soldiers entered the capital. Citizens fled the city. Government officials rushed to save important documents. At the White House, First Lady Dolly Madison worked quickly to rescue valuable items. She reportedly saved the famous portrait of George Washington before leaving the building. Soon, British troops reached government buildings. Their orders were clear: destroy military and government targets. The White House burns. The British entered the President's house, which later became known as the White House. According to reports, dinner had already been prepared for American officials. The British soldiers ate the food before setting the building on fire. Flames quickly spread through the rooms. The roof collapsed. The President's residence was destroyed. Nearby, the Capitol building was also set on fire. The Library of Congress suffered major damage. Government offices burned throughout the city. For one terrifying night, the American capital was in flames. Many Americans feared the country might collapse. The government had fled. Important buildings were destroyed. Foreign soldiers controlled the capital. Some believed Britain might permanently occupy Washington. News of the disaster spread across the country. People were shocked. How could the capital city fall so easily? How could the government fail to protect it? The attack became one of the darkest moments in American history. Then, something unexpected happened. A powerful storm struck Washington. Heavy rain poured across the city. Strong winds spread destruction. Some reports even described a tornado. The storm helped extinguish many fires. British troops also suffered damage. Buildings collapsed. Equipment was destroyed. After spending only about a day in Washington, British forces decided to leave. The capital had survived. Although Washington had been badly damaged, the United States government returned. The White House was rebuilt. The Capitol was restored. The attack shocked Americans and strengthened their determination to continue fighting. Only a few months later, American forces achieved important victories. The war eventually ended with the Treaty of Ghent in December 1814. Neither side gained major territory, but the United States survived. Its government remained intact. Its capital was rebuilt. Today, the burning of Washington remains the only time a foreign enemy successfully captured and occupied the American capital. The event showed how vulnerable the young nation was. It also demonstrated the determination of Americans to rebuild after disaster. The White House that stands today exists because the original building was rebuilt after the fire. Many scars of the attack still live in America now. In 1814, British soldiers marched into Washington. The White House burned. The Capitol burned. The government fled. For one terrible night, America feared it might lose its capital forever. But the nation survived. And from the ashes of Washington, a stronger United States emerged. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe for more forgotten stories from American history. Because history is not just about the past. It's about the moments that changed the future forever.